Okay, so let's get started with Minecraft. It's been ages since I've played Minecraft. I think it's over 4 months ago since I actually turned on this app. And I was recently looking at some old videos by Jacksepticeye, so it brought me back. So in the interest of nostalgia, I'm gonna have a go at it today. I think I already have a world set up here. So let's see what's going on. Aha, so just as I remembered, I think I created this world a little while back. I have the graphics turned up on this and it's playing on an iMac with OBS Studio running in the background, so I'm going to see how it performs under pressure. Really making the Mac, pushing the Mac to its limits here, running OBS and Minecraft at this settings level. We first spawned actually in this cherry blossom biome. As far as I can tell, it's cherry blossom. So this kind of gorgeous pink little environment here. So we're gonna do something. What will we do? One of the things about Minecraft which really annoyed me when I first started playing it was all of the holes in the ground. You can kind of just fall into a hole and then like, oh wow, I just landed in lava. Wonderful. So survival in Minecraft has always been a bit of an art. Also up in that mountain, you see the snow on the mountain. There's sinkholes in the snow, so if you stop, you'll sink into the snow. So you have to be careful there. I've always taken a kind of a dwarven approach to mining in Minecraft. I like kind of the idea of converting old mines into like shelters and buildings. So this is the kind of the approach I took here when I was building this mine. If any of you are familiar with Lord of the Rings, you'll be familiar with the idea of the dwarves, the mines of Moria, for example. I kind of like that trope. I like the idea of living and working in the same place. It's interesting how the dwarves are actually identifiable with the working class, and the dwarven society is a little bit like a working class hegemony. You know, they really have these kind of work ethic as their guiding principles of their society. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing here in Minecraft, to be quite honest. I guess I'm just kind of testing out the iMac and how it performs with Minecraft and OBS on in the background. Oh wow, I just forgot. I'm gonna die now. Oh my god, we're all gonna die. This is what I hate about Minecraft. Get me out of here. Oh my god, get me out of here. I'm gonna get killed. Let me into my house. Let the mobs die behind me. By the way, if you're ever playing Minecraft and you just enter your house, the mobs can actually come through the door. So you're better off just kind of going to sleep straight away. And when the sun rises, it will kill off all the mobs. Yeah, don't just kind of linger inside the door waiting for the mobs to go away. They can get through the door, especially the zombies. The zombies can actually break down the door. You know, yeah, as if it wasn't bad enough. But yeah, let's take a look at this shaft. Some of you might be familiar with this concept of building shafts where you can kind of just walk down into the earth. Kind of an old tradition. I remember when I first became familiar with Minecraft, it was way back. It must be, 15 years ago at this stage. Well, not that long, maybe 12 years ago. 11, 12 years ago. The big thing at the time was kind of waiting for Minecraft updates to come out, because Minecraft was so new at the time that the guy, what was his name? Oh god, Notch. Notch was the guy's name. He was the guy who actually developed Minecraft. He invented Minecraft, and he was always releasing these little updates. And for a long time, updates to the farming elements of Minecraft were kind of a big deal, and everyone was always waiting for the latest farming upgrades. Eventually, Notch sold Minecraft to Microsoft, and that was kind of the end of Notch's involvement with Minecraft. So it has been under the care of Microsoft for a long time now. They haven't really changed it very much, except they've kind of put it behind a Microsoft credential and identity verification system, which doesn't really have a huge impact on anyone who kind of purchased Minecraft before Microsoft took over. If you had purchased the Java version of Minecraft before Microsoft took it over, you automatically have the privilege of playing it forever without having to pay for it again, which doesn't really sound like a big deal, but it was a concession, I think, to players of Java, and Microsoft have done quite a lot to upgrade the performance and the security of Minecraft over the years. So it's not as resource intensive as it used to be. It runs better. And I think, if I had tried to run OBS Studio on an iMac while playing Minecraft in the past, it wouldn't have really worked because it was so resource intensive. Like all Java applications, it uses a Java virtual machine in the background. Oh, here's a dead end. A dead end that I built earlier. By the way, jumping in Minecraft consumes food. Makes you hungry, I think, as far as I remember. So you always have to make sure that you secure a steady supply of food. Now, I built this kind of bridge also in the spirit of Lord of the Rings because I was sick and tired of walking, trying to get across that ravine and trying to avoid all of those holes in the ground. So I just built this bridge. Now, I still have to build the rest of the architecture because it doesn't really look like a plausible piece of architecture without supporting uprights, which is always one of the funny things about Minecraft. You could build these gravity-defying structures without any support. So to make it look more realistic, you have to incorporate structural elements that you would see in real life. Another thing I really like about the Microsoft curated version of Minecraft is the crafting guide. It's built right in. It's not an extra. You can just go straight into it and it can tell you how to make everything. And these recipes have to be discovered, more or less. Some of them are available right from the outset. You have to kind of discover these recipes as you go. Yeah, so I'm just playing Minecraft for the nostalgia. I used to play servers when they were a thing, and they kind of gradually became obsolete. So now you can just play for realms instead. So Microsoft kind of hosts small little kind of groups servers where people can play in small groups and you can kind of include your friends and stuff. Before realms were popular, you had servers, so you'd have to actually create a Minecraft server, and there was a whole version of Minecraft that you could host on a server and you could have multiple users log into it. So there's an area over here which is just covered in flowers. It's really pretty. That's what I always loved about Minecraft. Everything looked so pretty at a distance. And to make dyes, you actually have to collect flowers. So if you collect these flowers and pulverize them, you can turn them into dyes, and you can dye fabric like wool. One of the most strategically important items in the game actually is a bed, because it helps you to bypass the night. If you can bypass the night, it kind of takes a lot of the grind out of Minecraft. So you're just constantly playing in the daytime. Now, of course, you still need to kind of have access to the bed, but you can carry a bed around with you, which is kind of one of those quirky things that you can take advantage of. The fact that Minecraft is not really realistic is probably one of its biggest attractions. You can just kind of play without having to worry about being true to physics. Physics is irrelevant, except for falling physics. If you fall, you could die. I kind of like that about it. You don't need to pay too much attention to reality. Now, that is a huge mountain. If I go down there, I'll die. Now, I don't want to go too far from home, so far away from my bed that I end up having to kind of battle a whole horde of zombies on my way back. I remember, when I used to watch gaming YouTubers in the past, how excited they got. They were so much fun to watch. That kind of talkativeness is not really part of my personality. The only way I can talk about something at length is when I really kind of know something about it and I get excited about it then. Which is probably something a little bit like autism. I've always kind of identified with autism. One of those things that keeps coming into my mind, am I autistic? It would explain so much about my personality. The fact that I find it difficult to talk, if I don't care about something, my brain switches off. It just can't engage. I wonder, is that something that autistic people identify with? I'd like to know that. Now the sun is setting and, as per usual, foretells of the possibility of death. Which is kind of poetic in a way, isn't it? I can already hear the zombies. I can hear them. The skeletons rattling around. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, something is going wrong. What's going on? I don't know what just happened. Okay. Oh my god, I think the computer is about to blow up with all of this. Computationally intensive load. Okay, let's eat something. Raw copper. I'm not sure what we're meant to do with copper. I don't think you can even smelt it in the regular way. Let me see if you can smelt it. Nope. Put a bit of coal there. And put the copper there. Ah, it does work. Okay. So you can melt the copper ore into copper something. Don't know what this actually makes. Let's have a look. Okay, a copper ingot. Now, I'm not sure what you're meant to do with copper. It's a novelty to me. As I said, it's been a while since I played Minecraft, so... okay, it's not really telling me anything. Copper, I don't know what copper does. I actually don't know what copper does. Let's try and make some more copper and see if we can figure it out. Copper there. Put a few more bits of coal. Another thing that I really need to get soon is external storage for videos. As you're probably aware, iMacs have limited storage. So this iMac only has 125 gigabytes of storage. So if I want to store and process large amounts of videos, I'm going to have to get external storage. If anyone has any ideas, by the way, on how I can optimize my setup on an iMac, and maybe you could give me some tips on how I could make that function optimally. For the moment, I'm jury-rigging this whole situation. Okay, so we're just smelting these copper ingots. I don't really appreciate too much the kind of the running away from mobs kind of end of things. The one thing I always enjoyed when it came out, it offered something completely different from the kind of the typical video game where you were just kind of chasing mobs and killing, and a storyline where your whole job was to kill enemies and blow up buildings and so on. So for the first time, I think there was a video game where you could enjoy something other than blowing up and killing enemies. You could actually, spend your gaming time constructing, a work of art, or building, or kind of designing like strange buildings, and letting your imagination run free inside of this imaginative world. And that was always the beauty of this game, and I think it's timeless in that sense, and it kind of appeals to creativity and self-expression, which is probably what I want this channel ultimately to be about. I want to reimagine and rediscover self-expression as something that should be enjoyable, something that should be free, open-ended, and not all about making money, serving some cause. And I also don't want it to be about ignoring reality. I think that's important, that we pay attention to real life, recognize that real life has real problems. But I want this channel to be about maybe remembering that life doesn't have to be so serious all the time. There are moments when we can relax and enjoy. Just enjoy the simplicity of being here, where we don't have to do anything special and we can just let loose. And that's what I like about this game. When you're playing Minecraft, it doesn't have to be about anything. You can just wander around. You can just wander around. What's wrong with that? Why can't we just make life about wandering around? Why can't we have a whole way of living that's just about wandering around? Life, the Minecraft way, let's just wander around and look at things. Like this sheep. Look at this sheep. This sheep is just here, doing its thing, And this pig, look, this pig here. Like, what's wrong with just being here? Why can't we just be here? Okay, let's see if we can build something. I've always been a big fan of building towers. I just took some damage there. We're going to have to eat something soon so I can recover some of these hearts. But let's build something. How about we build something overlooking this little gorge? So yeah, let's do that. So take out my trusty shovel and remove all of this dirt. And we'll build a lookout post or tower, whatever you want to call it. Some of the parts of this game involve a little bit of landscaping, where you can kind of create a nice flat surface where you can build your masterpiece of architecture. Oh my god. Give me another shovel. Workbench can go here. Okay, we have that. So put that there. And we make a shovel. These essential recipes in Minecraft. Never forget them. It's a little bit like life, you know? There are some things that we shouldn't forget that we need. Things that we need, we should always remember how to make them. Okay, so I'm creating a flat surface. And while we don't necessarily need to create a flat surface in order to build anything, it just makes it a little bit easier in the long run. Aha! What's that? I don't know what that is, but we'll come back to it in a sec. I just noticed that I can't hear any of the audio. I wonder why that is. Oh, I think it might be okay for recording purposes, but I can't actually hear it while I'm sitting here playing the game. By the way, I continue to be impressed by OBS Studio. I know it's kind of like so basic now. Everyone kind of knows how it works, but being new to this whole thing, I'm kind of wrapping my head around how a piece of software could be this easy to use and this powerful. Which is always one of those things about software. It kind of takes you by surprise. I have been taken by surprise. I like surprises. Pleasant surprises. I don't like unpleasant surprises, of course. I mean, who does? Who likes to be unpleasantly surprised? I need to figure out what this thing is. It is... Let me look. I can't pick it up. I literally have too much dirt in my pocket. Okay, what is this? Raw iron. Ooh, exciting. That's very exciting, isn't it? Because now we can build iron tools. They're much, much harder than stone. So we'll just fill in this hole. Okay, so let's build a floor. We'll set out our stall here. We'll build a floor. I don't want this building to go right to the edge. I just want it to be a tower. Now let's count. We need to count the blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I build a 7 by 7 square, that means the interior will consist of a 5 by 5, which will be 25 square blocks. Let me know if my counting is correct there. I could easily be wrong, but I think I'm right. Okay, the sun is setting. Let's go back to our hideout and we can come back in the morning. There's an egg. I want to take everything I can get. So if eggs are valuable, you can cook eggs and make cake. Now, we can't make a cake just yet. We're still harvesting the wheat, and I think you also need milk. But that iron was going to come in handy for making iron buckets. So if we have an iron bucket, we can actually collect milk. And rain helps the wheat. See? Rain really helps crops. If you don't have any irrigation, rain really helps to grow these things. Rain is actually not that common. It only rains occasionally. I need to get rid of some of this crap. So I'm going to stand over the bridge and I'm just going to dump some of this stuff because it's pretty useless. Dirt is pretty useless. And unless you're nerd poling, you know, it's kind of useless. You know, you don't need that much dirt. Steve does not need to carry around 8 stacks of dirt. And by the way, the rotten flesh, has anyone ever figured out what rotten flesh does or what it's for? Can't really see the point of carrying that stuff around if it can't figure out what it's used for. Copper ingot. Put that there. I wish Microsoft included an inventory management system. I remember there used to be a mod that you could get on Windows that included inventory management as part of the mod pack, where you could just sort your whole inventory into stacks and you could sort them into alphabetical order. It's kind of weird that they never included that in the vanilla basic game. Just kind of perplexing why they wouldn't do that. Okay, so we need a shovel. Open up this, make a shovel. I feel like Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob was always obsessed with shovels. As far as I remember, he loved his shovels. Okay, so 2 shovels. Let's keep going at this. So, okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all coming back to me. I used to be able to build buildings so fast. Once you kind of get into the swing of the button controls in Minecraft, it kind of you can build fairly fast. It becomes a bit of a habit, an addiction, really addictive. You kind of get really good at building, and it kind of becomes almost like an automatic, unconscious kind of a process. So you can just focus on your design. Oh my god, what's that? It's gravel. What happened? I think the hotkeys on this magic keyboard are a little bit too sensitive. So we've just created a 7x7 square, and a 7x7 square will yield a 5x5 interior floor space. So that's 25 blocks. There are 25 blocks in this square, this interior square, and 7x7 is 49. So the outer is actually 49 and the inner is 25. So you get used to this kind of Minecraft arithmetic. It really makes your life a bit easier to kind of, you don't have to be constantly guessing about how to do things. So this is kind of Minecraft scale, normal Minecraft scale building. So I'll eventually fill this with glass. So the benefit of using gravel is that you can dig it out from the bottom. Gravel falls automatically, and you can dig the gravel out from the bottom and it just falls, and that doesn't work with dirt. You see the way the dirt just kind of sticks, and the dirt will even stick to the air. Look, if you look at this, it just floats. So that's Minecraft physics. Gravity isn't a thing, at least not for blocks, but for certain blocks like gravel, they tend to fall. Which is really convenient. So the next thing we need is a door. We're going to build a door. I don't want to sacrifice these gorgeous looking cherry blossom trees. So I'm going to find a way to regenerate those cherry blossom trees. I'm not quite sure how to yet, because I don't think they release saplings like regular trees. It might not be possible to regenerate them, which would be sad. Especially, if you're trying to create a more sustainable Minecraft experience. You don't want to be chopping down all your trees all the time. Cobblestone buildings. Minecraft at its best is all about these cobblestone buildings. Anyone who disagrees, you can leave a comment below. Cobblestone is such a versatile building material. The Minecraft staple. Now the sun is going down again and I don't have another bed, so I want to complete this building before I put a bed in it, and then we can use it as a second shelter. That will make my life a little bit easier to have 2 bases of operations. I can only sleep at night. Okay. Is this not night? Maybe not. I want to wait a few more seconds before it's nighttime. Isn't it just so spectacular? It's definitely one of the best features of Minecraft. The day-night cycle. And I love how the sky moves as well. You can see how the stars are moving. It's simulating the rotation of the world. Now, of course, in the game, nothing of the sort is really happening. It's just a simulation of movement. Okay, let's go to bed. Okie dokie. So now we can go and work on the rest of our building. You know, making these videos is a little bit, just feels a little bit strange because it's like I'm talking to myself. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, I'm not really talking to myself. I'm talking to an audience. It does feel a little bit like I'm talking to myself, and that's, I could sit here all day talking to myself quite happily. Okie dokie. So that's the roof. Well, a roof. Eventually I'll remove that layer and I'll put in another floor. But it's very important that we get a bed installed in this building. I don't want to have to keep going back and forth just to escape the zombie. So even though I'm in survival mode, I don't like facing mobs. I really, really don't like dealing with mobs. I like this world to be just about me and the building. And when I'm ready to deal with mobs, I'll get my armor and take them on, but not yet. Now I need wool. Where is my wool? That's sad. I need wool. I want wool. I need iron. I need iron to make shears. So I need shears. What happened to my iron? Did I not have iron in the... Aha. Oh my god, here it is. So put the iron in here. And we're going to melt the iron so that we can make shears. And we need to make shears in order to get wool and harvest wool. That's the only way that you can harvest wool without killing the sheep. I can't really remember how much iron you need to make shears. No? Okay. What can we do with copper? That's insane. You need all of that copper just to make a block of copper. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Command or something else. Control. No. Shift. Okay, the shift will allow me to just hoover up that stuff. Aha, a lightning rod. Ooh. Okay, what's a lightning rod? What does a lightning rod do? Okay, I don't know what a lightning rod does, but... Ooh, a copper trapdoor. I don't know why anyone would want a copper trapdoor. I mean, why would it... If someone was going to make a trapdoor, why would it need to be made of copper? Like, copper is really, really soft. Okay, just remember Minecraft physics. Ooh, I made an advancement. I got an achievement there. Okay, what was I going to do with the iron? I need the iron to make shears. Now, an iron trapdoor I can kind of understand. Iron bars. No. What's that? Heavy weighted pressure plate. That. Iron nugget. No. Okay, I need to Google this because... Oh. Shears. Ah, okay. Now we're in business. Okay, let's go get some wool. I think shears wear out as well, by the way. They're like any other tool in Minecraft. They wear out with continued use. So I don't know how these sheep actually feel about being sheared. Whenever I look at videos of sheep being sheared online, it seems like, you know, they don't really mind being sheared. I think they might kind of secretly enjoy being sheared, although they probably never tell you that if you ask them. So we're going to take... Yeah, there's no reason why we should leave any of this wool behind. So we're just going to take this wool. I mean, the sheep probably need the wool too, but they can grow more of it and I can't. So we just have to be reasonable. Like, they have the wool and I need the wool. Isn't nature so weird? Like, nature is really amazing. Like, nature comes along and it like creates this animal which basically goes around with a blanket. Like sheep are basically just like they carry their blankets around with them everywhere. Like it's just insane. Like who would even think of that? Nature did, obviously. And that's why it's so interesting. Look at that Enderman. Can you see the Enderman? Oh, by the way, if you're ever faced with an Enderman, make sure that you keep your reticule, your targeting reticule, focused at the ground. Because if you look at the Enderman in the face, if you look directly at the Enderman, he'll target you. Okay, so you can look at the Enderman, just don't let the targeting reticule land on the... Oh my god, what is that? What the fuck are they? Oh my god, what are they? Okay, I've never seen that before. I have never seen those mobs before. Somebody needs to tell me what they are. Okay, I'm getting out of here. I think they have guns. I think they actually have guns. Oh my god, that's insane. Who put guns in Minecraft? Microsoft is insane. Like, why would they put guns in Minecraft? I can't see them. Does that mean they're gone? I hope so. Okay, so that's just one of those nope things that you don't want to deal with. It's like, no, I just can't be dealing with that. It's too much new novelty for me. Okay. They're gone, I hope. Okay, yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons why we need to move on with our building of our infrastructure so that we can survive in this ever-growing, ever more hostile world of Minecraft. Let's go to bed. And if those mobs are hostile, that pretty much means there's now a kind of a class of hostile mob that lives during the day. Like that's completely new. I wasn't aware of this. Maybe they're not hostile. I hope they're not hostile. Okay, so we need to make a bed. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. Yay, we have a yellow bed. Okay, let's go and put it down. I'm kind of paranoid about those mobs now. Let's go. Oh. An egg. We found an egg. Okay, so now we have this bed. I want to put down the bed. There. Perfect. Now, we need to put glass. Okay, so we're going to need to make glass. To make glass, we need sand. Now, I don't know where we're going to get the sand, but I think we're just going to have to go and find some. I think I can see some sand down here. So let's go and get the sand. So I'm kind of like one of these beach conservatives. I like beaches and I don't like using up all of the sand on a beach because I kind of like beaches. I like beaches as a structure and a feature of the environment. Let's try to do our best to conserve as much of this beach as we can. Okay. No, we're not dealing with that. Do that. Maybe that's enough. 32 pieces. Might not be enough. Let's keep going. Oh my god, these ravines are so annoying. Okay, what are we gonna do about this? Jumping up these cliffs and these ravines is probably the most annoying thing. I'm just not into this whole jumping up cliffs. Anyone who's a mountain climber, I don't get it. You'll have to explain it to me. I don't understand this thing of climbing things. Oh yeah, you can't do it like this. You need to go to the workbench. see if we can get this whole situation working a bit quicker. To place another furnace on top of this furnace, you need to place it on the block beside it. All of these little tricks, never quite forget them. You place your coal into the bottom and take the sand and we'll split the sand, put it into our pile, and then put it into the furnace. And that will get our glass production going at double speed. We could make another furnace, but I'm happy with that setup. We have to conserve our resources. So unfortunately, we don't have enough iron to make a bucket, which is kind of sad. It's kind of annoying that I don't have enough iron to make a bucket, because I really want to make a cake. The iron is holding out on me. So what do you do? And I'm too lazy to go looking for it. I mean, I want cake, but I don't want it badly enough to, you know, go out of my way and find iron. This is just what I'm like, you know. I want things, but I don't want them badly enough to actually put in that much effort. Okay, sue me, I'm using blocks of glass. Okay, don't panic. There is another way to use glass. I can't quite remember how to make glass panes, but I actually don't like glass panes. Yeah, okay, on the one hand, I understand glass panes. You're just using less glass, but I don't really like the look of glass panes. Let's see how to make glass panes. I can't remember. No, it's not that. Aha, okay. So we make glass panes by putting down 6 blocks, which probably makes it a little bit more economical. But as I said, I don't really like glass panes. And by the way, if you break glass, you don't get it back. It's gone forever because it's just glass. You know, you think it might go back into sand or something, but it doesn't work that way. Okay, we need to fill in these gaps because it's going to be nighttime very, very soon, and I don't want to have to deal with mobs. So let's get the lead out here and put down this wall of glass. Okay, close that door. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what are we going to do with this? We need to put down cobblestone. Okay, so now even though we are surrounded by glass... Wait, hold on a second. Lamps. We need lamps. Okay, put down this lamp. Please give me lamp. Yeah, we need a lamp because if we don't put down a lamp, there's a chance that mobs will actually spawn inside of this building. Okay, look, hold on a second. I'm kind of unhappy with that. I don't like the way that looks. I feel like I need to fix it. Yeah, I need to fix it. I need more cobblestone. Okay, let's see what's over here. There might be iron. I have no lamps. I love this panoramic view. A trapdoor. No. Pressure plate. No such thing as a stone pressure plate. We need to get that axe. Okay, so we need to build trapdoor. 1 trapdoor coming up, and then we can put down our trapdoor right there. Okay, so now we have automatic closing and opening. Excellent. 1 problem down, 99 more to go. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this little lookout. The whole idea is that eventually this will be a tower. Okay, so that's the final goal. But because it's survival mode, it's going to take a little bit longer than it would if you were in creative mode. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break there. And we can come back and I'll see you next time.